Thank you so much, Daddy, for coming to African Fathers in Diaspora. Really is an opportunity for young fathers and those that are migrating from Africa to learn from you, and also to protect the legacy of African fathers that are living far away from abroad. And I want to congratulate you. You have your first grandchild, and I think that is beautiful and is a good place to start. Yeah, you have 4 daughters, and I'm just curious to know how is that like in an African home to have 4 girls living with you? Most of them are out of the house now, but you share your experience with us about living with them.
Oh, thank you very much. It was very tough. I will be honest with you. My gratitude goes to God for His grace, for His mercy, His compassion, and His patience with us. That is number 1. Number 2, my wife. I think generally women can communicate better to these children than we men. Most especially when we come from Africa. Our own is like order. But the woman knows how to package the whole information that will be receptive to these children. I'll be honest with you. So my advice is that give your wife a chance to do what she needs to do. If you come here with this mentality, I'm the father, when I say it, it must be done, you will fail. Because these kids, if they ever go to school and cry, that's it, you are gone. They will move you out of the house.
Wow.
It has happened to some of our friends. So you learn from a Dobby. And as I have said earlier on, thank God. Thank God.
If you have female in the house or you have girl child in the house, there is this anticipation that, well, they are not better until I have a male child. Was that your experience, or it was completely opposite?
I'll be honest with you, I want 4 boys. God gave me 4 girls, which means God gave me what I need, not what I want.
Oh, wow.
You may think you need something, but in actual fact, you don't. God is a marvelous God. He knows better than we do. My desire is 4 boys, all boys, no girls. But God looked at me and said, I'm going to give you what you need.
What you need.
Not what you want. And I thank God for that. At the end, that, yeah, I need these guys. Believe it or not, they take care of their parents more than the boys. The boys will get married, they're gone. They're gone with their baby. So the helping of the parents with the grandchildren, the women are just better than we do. There are so many things they can do that we cannot do. Yeah, I went there, give the naming ceremony, and that was the last day they saw me. And I told them, when you have your second child, you will see me again. I'm not parading any children, grandchildren, because my grandfather didn't involve himself with me or my father. As I used to tell them, I am an African father. I'm not an American father. I'm an African father. Yes, I love you, But there are certain things I will not do. I remember when they were growing up, one day, they gathered themselves together and asked their mom, "Is that our father?"
Wow.
"Is that really, really our father?" I said, "Yeah, that's your father. It's just dry cut." You know, your father don't know how to communicate as I do. So come to me, I will know how to put it to him. Don't go to him, he will just tell you, we think about it for a minute, say no. And that is it. Let me give you an example.
Yes, sir.
One day the last born came to me. He was very happy, he was joyous. "Daddy, I know what I want to do now." I said, "What?" "I want to do tap dancing." Because he saw some ladies doing tap dancing on TV and they are paying them very well. And he wants to do tap dancing. I said, "You know what? Close my door and let me see your back going out." She burst into tears.
Wow.
I said, "I'm sorry. Do you know, after about 3 years, she came back to me. She said, "Daddy, you remember that day I told you I want to do tap dancing?" I said, "Yes, I remember." So you are right. I cannot make money doing tap dancing. And there's no guarantee that you can even get a job. Because I was just, I said, start looking for advert. If you ever see anywhere they say, "We are looking for tap dancer," you will never see tap dance. So I love you, Dad. I said, "I love." And after she left me, I wept. After she closed the door, I wept. I'll be honest with you, I wept. I said, "Wow, this girl never forget what I said about 3 years ago." And she realized I was telling her the truth.
The truth.
But I don't know how to put it across to her. But my wife did perfectly well. Said, "Sit down, let's talk. Tap dancer don't get the job. That one you see is 1 out of 1,000,000. And your last name is not Jones. It's not Smith. You want to get what?" So God will help every one of us.
Amen.
Prayer. 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 Prayer.
I want to follow up with that. You mentioned your great-grandfather. You mentioned your own father, your grandfather and your own father. Has your upbringing, does it have influence on your fatherhood style?
Absolutely, yes. You know, growing up in the village, my father was very strict. And that's why up till now, I don't go to parties. Before I dress up going to your parties, one, you must be extremely close to us, very close. And two, I cannot avoid it. Then I will go. And when it is about 9, it's time for me to go home. Because when my father was alive by 7, I must be inside the house. And that's the way I grew up. Others have different stories. Others, their parents allow them to go out at night. Mine did not. And I got used to it. And when you look at it, they may not be educated, but they have wisdom. And the reason is that they have seen what we have not seen when we are growing up. Just now, I have seen what all these kids have not seen. They are just starting to see some of the things we have seen before. They are just seeing it now. And now they are realizing when we are telling them, this is how you tailor your life. America is a country of law. Two, they keep records. This is not third world where they open a file today, tomorrow they cannot find it again. Everything is computerized. Or the building is burned down. Nothing like that here. It's in microchips. If they want to dig, they will dig. Then the technology is improving. Even in this country, some of the cases they cannot solve 40, 35 years ago, they are revisiting it and they are solving it now. Watch TV, you see that they are solving it now. Because the technology is improving. They are improving with it.
Wow. There is this saying in Africa that it takes a village to raise a child. So how does African culture influence you as a father?
In my case, I don't want anybody else to spank my child. That is me. Whatever they do, report them to me.
You.
I will do the spanking. There's a saying back home, "Bami no more me, we did no more."
You believe that is true?
That is true. If you do the spanking, it's different. If your uncle or your brother or your sister do the spanking. And for me, they know me from day one. I am blunt. So, don't touch my child. I will not touch yours. But I will do the spanking myself. Then I left the rest for my wife to do the talking. I think I'm just blessed with that woman.
There must be occasion where you raise them in a way, in African way. So how does that play out in a Western world? You know, you share the experience of your last child coming to you for guidance about choice of career, and you said no. So how does that play out being in America or being outside Africa?
Thank you very much. I realized quickly that one, the African women, they communicate better than we do, than women. Two, these kids are closer to their mother than to the father. Let's be blunt. But that is the truth. When they are inside their mom, they have already signed the contract with their mother. So by the time they came out, the deal is done. And that's why this woman knows how to get them. You cannot dictate to these kids as they treated us back home. They will just say no. This is where I want to go. That's where my friend is going. But you are looking at the scholarship because you don't want to pay. But you must know how to package it. So you young men, African descent, allow your wife to help you to package it. It's not pride. All that macho policy is not going to work in this country. The two of you must walk hand in hand. Don't dictate to your wife, this must be done in this house. I'm the head of this house. Who is struggling the headship with you? Nobody.
Okay, now.
Just work with your wife and make things work for the entire family. And that will give you peace of mind.
Of mind.
For example, if they have friends, you will not know.
Hmm.
I'm telling you the truth. But they will tell their mom, that's my friend. That's my friend. Okay. My wife know all their friends. The school they go to, their parents. She has talked to their parents. She pick up the phone, call their parents. They know her. They don't know me. But it's okay with me. As long as they are doing well. That's how close they are. I don't know any one of them until very late.
Wow.
Before I will know them. Women, don't underestimate them.
You've been in this country more than 20 years. So if you want to share with the viewers, what is the secret to successful co-parenting? You made reference a lot about your wife, and that is one of the things we don't usually see in African homes. So share your experience with us. What is that secret to successful co-parenting in outside Africa?
As I've said earlier on, don't take God out of your family. Let God be part of your family. Don't take your wife out of parenting. If you follow those two, you will do well. But if you neglect any of them, if you neglect God and you neglect your wife, I can say with certainty that you will fail. Believe me. You take God out, you take your wife out, you are heading to higher honor in failure. That's the way you can do it.
Wow.
It is just natural. In this case, they are close to their mother than they are close to their father. Period. There's no way you can argue those two out. God, number one, your wife, number two. You come in. Number one, our voice is too harsh. Means our vocal system is very strong. It looks as if we are ready to fight. But we are not. We are just, our vocal voice is just strong. Well developed. So also here, our arms are stronger. And that's why we can climb trees than they do. They have to use rope technology to climb a tree. We use just our physical arms to climb the tree. They use technology to climb the tree. That's the difference.
It is true that we as African fathers, we have physical strength, and I want to just tap into the other part of fathers that we don't usually hear about, and that is emotional strength. So I want to ask you, has there been any point living outside Africa that you feel overwhelmed as a father, and how were you able to handle that?
In my case, it's through God. Because when I'm so down, I will just go and close my room. I will go inside my room and close the door. I say, what have I done now? What have I done? I'll be talking to myself. All these kids, you tell them to do this, they are just playing. And my wife will call me and start laughing. Relax. They want to play, give them time to play. You are just book all the time. One day, one of my guests said, "Daddy, why is it that when I tell you I make A's, that's when I get your hugging?" I say, "Okay, I will do better, because I don't know exactly what to do, and I don't know what to say." As I said, from now I will do better. They know when you are trying to play games with them. These kids, they are very smart. And they know when you genuinely, from inside you, hug them. They know the difference. When you just hug them to say, "Okay, I'll hug you now," it's different from when they make all A's and you hug them. They know these kids, they are smarter than us when we are at their age. Why? They are exposed. What exposure do I have apart from going to the farm? In my case, what exposure? Go to the farm, come back, eat. Daily, the same old pounded yam every day. But this one, they want varieties. And they have made me a shopper, food shopper in the process. So I shop. And if your wife is working here in this country, they need help. They can't do it all. You go to work, we went to work. You both came back. They are taking care of the child. You do something to help them out. If you don't want them to expire quick, you have to help your wife out. Whatever your title out there, professor, doctor, MD, PhD, as soon as you enter your house, all that is gone. In your house, you are a father. And you must behave and conduct yourself as a father. When you are going out, you pick up your title. Hey, doc. Hey, doc. When you are inside, you are no doc. Because your kids will run to you, they will say, "Hi, daddy." Have you ever seen kids running to their father and say, "Hi, doc"? Or, "Hi, pastor"? They will say, "Hi, daddy." You are a father. And a father has certain characteristic, different from how they behave outside. Then you must perform as a father inside. If the dishes need to be washed and your wife is busy, you can wash the dishes. You must help your wife out in the housework. If the shoe needs to be polished, you can polish it. In my case, I'm talking about myself. I know how to cook. So I help my wife to cook. I help to clean the kitchen. At times I help to clean the bathroom. Because here they said nurses, pharmacists, doctors, lawyers, they make money. I can assure you, they sweat for that money. Doctors will go to work from probably 6 a.m. to do some rounds, seeing their patient. If your wife is a medical doctor, she has left home 5:30 to 6. Come back to the office, work till 6 o'clock. She's a human being. By the time she gets home, she's tired. Just like you. And you cannot be eating outside every day. So you have to pitch in. That's my advice. The way your father raised you in Africa, as soon as you cross the border to the United States of America or London or anywhere, drop it there before your flight take off at Kenya. Drop that Nigerian mentality there. Because once you come in here, it's a different ball game. You must help out. There's no house boy or house girl here, and there's no driver. All those amenities we have back home. But here, you must develop the idea of dropping the keys off from school. Like you as the professor, you must organize your classes in such a way that you can go and pick up your children. If your wife is a doctor or a pharmacist, or she cannot leave that job as you, because you have some
flexibility.
Your wife doesn't have that leeway. If she's in critical nurse, working in an emergency room, she doesn't have that leeway. She has to stay there till after 5. And schools now, they close by 3, latest 3:30. You must pick up your keys. If you don't, he has gone to what we call after hours. You have to pay specially for that. And it's not cheap. So get ready. When you start having 2, 3, and they close at different times, you have to make yourself available to pick them up. And taking them home, you must have an adult when they are still a certain age to help you. Here is give and take.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing that wisdom with us. I believe we are learning. I believe everyone is learning how to navigate this process of living far away from Africa, because things are done differently here compared to back there. And I just want to ask you this follow-up question that, do you have any regrets? And if you do, how were you able, or how are you implementing changes over time as a father living here?
I wish I can communicate better. Because this case, they want you to talk to them, not to beat them. I wish I can do exactly as my wife. I remember I did go to their after-school activities. That's another area that you have to pitch in. They have after-school activities like basketball. My daughters play soccer, which when I was growing up, women don't play soccer back home. But here, this case, they allow them to try anything they want. They play soccer. Those are extracurricular activities, which fathers don't do back home. They assign a driver to do all that. As I've said earlier on, can you afford a driver here? Because it's hourly based. If they're taking $18 an hour, they will take $18 an hour for you, whether they do anything or not. You must know how to manage yourself to help them with extracurricular activities, to help them with homework. If you don't want them to sit down on TV, watching TV. Because if you ask them not to watch TV, they must be doing something. You have to help with homeworks, which our parents back home don't do. Mostly if you come from my area 4, where they are all farmers, they don't even know how to help you with the homework. Even those of us who are educated, by the time they get to high school, start doing all this calculus, which you don't know, you may have to hire somebody to help them. When we came here, we are here to grab a degree. In those days where they don't recognize bachelor's degree from America, you must make sure you have a master's degree. So at least by the time you get home, they will equivalent it to a first degree. Grab it and go back and enjoy life. Because in reality, in those days, life is better at home than this place. When we are doing our MBA in the early 80s, we always tell ourselves, plus car, plus driver, plus allowance, this, plus that. But by the time we finish, no more plus, plus, plus. All the plus have been, is dried up. And maybe we are praying that things will turn around for our country. So some of these young ones, they may decide one day they want to go. But I always tell all of you, prepare to stay here first. That is the bitter truth. Prepare to stay here first. Then prepare to go home second.
So I'm going to bring it back home. Thank you so much again. These are very important for us young fathers and for those of us migrating into a different society. And we're so grateful to have you, sir. And I'm going to ask you one or two questions more, and then we'll be done for today. And the first is that tell your daughters that you love them. And I know I'm introducing this because we seldom hear that from African fathers. And I just want you to just say it from your heart to them. That you
I do that now, though. When I call them now, I say, I love you, Dad. Well, I do that now. But it was just lately, when they are growing up, I don't do it. I'll be honest with you, I do it now. When I call them, hey, I'm just checking on you. How is your Thanksgiving? Before you go, I love you. They say, I love you, Dad.
I'm happy to hear that. So the last question is, what will you say if your father is here? I'm sure he must have influenced you one way or the other. You mentioned this discipline. You mentioned the need to be home by 7 every day. And that built in you consciousness of time, why time is important. And I'm sure he must have done so many things also that you didn't mention. But what will you say to him if he was to be here?
I will thank him for bringing me up in a tough way, in a hard way. I'll be honest with you. When we came here, late 70s, at least with that exaggeration, we have 2 of our colleagues that ran back to Nigeria. They said they cannot handle the pressure here. He came here, I was going to wash your clothes for you. We are sitting there, okay. On Saturday, we had to go to even though we don't use hand to wash it, but this boy is so lazy. He could not put the clothes into the washer and put 10 cents. It was 10 cents in those days. You put 10 cents there, the washer we wash it, and you put 10 cents, the dryer we dry it. He couldn't do it. He has to go back home. There's another one like that. He couldn't cook. Where's your cook here? That you don't have a mother here. Or else you'll be eating bread and peanut butter. If you want to eat fufu, you must know how to make fufu. You are a bachelor, you don't have a girlfriend. Who's going to befriend a poor man? You must know how to cook. The soup that you will eat. The way you cook it, that's the way you will eat it. those things you have to pick it up quick. And if you don't, I'm sorry. You can't be eating in friend's house all the time. They will start telling you to go home.
Thank you very much, sir. And I want to thank you for joining us today, discussing about how African fathers navigated their ways living far away from Africa, and the need for us to understand the difference in the culture. And I'm so glad that you're part of this. I look forward again to have you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much, sir.